Good afternoon, Rhinos. Yes, it feels so good to be home. Back, love Wednesdays, miss Wednesdays, wish every day was a Wednesday. I don't know why I wrapped that, but let's do this. So refreshing to see everyone again. This is so much fun. All right, cool. Look at everyone get in there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I think I'm talking to my son, like, come on, Christian, come on, come on, come on. What's up, Ron? Ron, I feel like we talk every day and then we don't talk for weeks. And it's because V has been kicking so much butt that everyone's like, Anthony who? Which is cool. I love that. But on Wednesdays, pretend a little bit that you remember me, right? Oh, Justin's in the house. Justin's amazing. Had a 1 hour call with him yesterday. And honestly, when you get to meet all of the rhinos, everyone has such great stories from great places. And I spent time with Justin. Abigail spent time with Frida. So much cool stuff. Deborah's here for the second time today because Deborah is Rhino Wealth and Deborah is Rhino. Like Rhino, right? Cool. Let's let everyone get in. Get in. Cool, cool, cool. We'll give everyone a minute. Totally cool. So much fun stuff going on. Feels great to be back. So we do Rhino Wealth every morning, right? Hey, Don's in the house from Oregon for the second time today, I think, right? Yeah, I think Don was with us for Rhino Wealth. So Rhino is our mothership, right? And to go ahead and effectively find new people that we can go ahead and share our message with, it is on us, it behooves us, it is our obligation to be creative enough to touch other people in other ways with different value propositions, right? So we can all agree, and it's kind of biased, right? Like we're all in here, so we're like, yeah, we love Rhino, we're Rhinos, great, go Rhino. But for those that are not in Rhino, we've tried every which way to go ahead and offer people to come into Rhino. Now, many people get many different offers, so they're like, oh, well, that kind of sounds cool, it doesngetting sound cool, see you later, didn't tickle my fancy, bye. And what are we supposed to do? Knock on the door, kick the door down? No, we're getting a little aggressive there, right? Like, what are we supposed to do? Well, my mother always said you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. You definitely collect more bees. And in fact, my brother is allergic to bees. And the way we know that is because he, when he was younger, had a bee land on his bicep. And he goes, hey, Mr. Bee, can you please get off me? And the bee wouldn't. So he decided he was going to squeeze the bee with his bicep. The bee stung him. He was in the hospital for the next week. That's a true story. So to get more bees, you use honey, not vinegar. Why anyone would want bees is beyond me, but that's besides the point. So to go ahead and continue these outreaches, we've developed alternate programs, alternate platforms, alternate value propositions that we can go ahead and say, okay, I understand that you don't like the mothership, but how about these satellites? Do you like these? And if you do, well, then maybe you'll reconsider who created those, right? Like you like this satellite, well, we created it, so maybe you like us. If not, cool. And one of those is called Rhino Wealth. Now, Rhino Wealth is, for most people that already know this, takes advantage, or at least, highlights my background in financial markets. And I tend to think I'm pretty good at it, right? And others think I'm pretty good at it. And when you are pretty good at something, the challenge is, can you show others how to do it? Can you explain it to them so they can understand it? And can your results speak for themselves? And I think we've checked off all the boxes. In fact, anyone that participates in the mornings, like, and I actually finally understand this stuff, pretty cool, thanks. In fact, it was a 1 week bonus program because we were doing it every morning, 10 to 11 a.m. And that's a little taxing, right? We do a lot of stuff here, but it is always my obligation, it's always my responsibility to do everything it takes to bring as many people in as possible. So, okay, let's do a bonus week, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, made 40% publicly in front of everyone. Those that participated made a bunch of money. Everyone learned the market. Cool. That Friday rolls around. And come on, do another week, please, please, please. And I'm like, okay, cool. If it's that well-liked of a platform, let's continue it, because in an attempt to find things that people like, when you do find something that somebody likes, you do not punish them by them already being a part of your ecosystem. You don't go ahead and, oh, cool, amazing. So you don't go ahead and say, okay, well, I already got you in, so I don't need to do what you liked when you joined us, right? Like that seems silly. It's like, have you ever been a part of like Verizon or like a phone company? And they're like, for new customers only, it's you get the iPhone for $100, and you're like, I've been a customer for 10 years, and why can't I get it for $100? Well, you're not a new customer, so it's going to cost you $1,500. And you're like, how dare you punish me for being a loyal customer, right? So that's kind of what we got our foot in, right? So many people have liked it that I'm like, I can't take it away now. But everyone understands that it's a Monday platform and we do emails all week. Great. But everyone's like, come on, one more week. So we did a whole second week. Then after a second week, come on, please. We did a whole third week. Then after the third week, come on, please. And I said, guys, I can't. And they said, come on. And I said, all right, well, listen, I'll make you a deal. If everyone just forwards our email out to others, because again, my job for Rhino is to continue to grow our ecosystem, continue to grow our influence. Who makes us up? How many there are of us? I said, if you guys can do me that favor, and please just email all the people and say, and it's not like a fake testimonial. Like, hey, I would like Rhino to keep this platform going. And I made a deal with Rhino that if I went ahead and invited my friends to join, they would do so. Implicit is that I like it so much that I'm doing this, therefore come join it, you'll like it too. Our Rhino Wealth platform, in a matter of 4 weeks, already has like 150 people that are registered to watch the daily lives. That's pretty cool. Like that's really, really cool. And of those 150, 80 of them were from outside the Rhino ecosystem. 80 of them were the ones that never been to the mothership, that did not want to come to the mothership, that had no care in the world what we did. But when they saw Rhino Wealth, they're like, well, I don't really care what that was, but this is pretty cool. Of those, a certain percentage, I can't tell you how many, right? But are now completely receptive to this. And the reason I couldn't tell you is because they're already registered on Bolt, and I'd have to actually go through each log of every call and start matching. Don't want to do it. But a very good percentage of them now participates in these meetings. And that's cool, right? Because in the real world, you don't tell people why they should do something. You don't. In fact, have you ever tried arguing with your girlfriend and telling her she's wrong because what she should have done? Doesn't work. Have you ever argued with a different political party and said they're wrong because of things that they could have done better, or things that they did, or things that they didn't do? Doesn't work. Have you ever gone to someone's religion and said, my religion's better than your religion because your God says this and my God says that, so you know what, you should really listen to us? Doesn't work. The only way you could go ahead and influence anybody is by offering them who you really are and what your value proposition is, and allowing them on their own to make the decision to give you a shot. And if they give you a shot, you better make sure that you're able to go ahead and knock the ball out of the park, because you only have that one moment. And when you do have that one moment, you want them to say, you know what, I'm really, really appreciative that you really tried your hardest to reach out to me. I know I was a little stubborn at first, but your persistence is noted, your gentlemanness is noted, and I'm now happy that I'm here because I know the type of person you are. So to get into a big investment that was just made into us, I'll share with you how that happened. So there is a particular Rhino who's been with us for quite some time. That particular Rhino emailed me, I think it was like 3 months ago. And he said, hey, love your platform, love this, love that, but I think you talk too much about politics in the sense of demonizing one political party. I think if you really have a goal to have a big outreach, to reach a large audience, you really have to tone that down and allow everyone to feel included. Just my 2 cents by. So I'm fairly passionate about politics. And if the sentence makes sense that I love politics but hate politicians, that's how I feel about politics. And it's not that you don't talk about party, you talk about president. Yeah, well, actually, so Don, to that point, this is before that. And I did actually kind of demonize one party. And I would do it in such ways that I would speak about a representative of their party, like the president, like you'd be able to figure it out. And, when I got the email, I was like, the initial thought and I'm going to share this with you, right? Because I think we're all human, right? Like, I think we get this. The initial thought was like, what do you know? Like, not interested, right? Like, thanks for the email, bye. Human, right? Like, I'm admitting that to you. But that's not, like, that's error. That's not what you should do, because I can't do this myself. I'm not my own customer. I already believe I'm the best, right? Like, I love me. Therefore, there's no salesmanship. There's nothing I need to do to win me. I'm already there. In fact, I couldn't lose me if I tried. In fact, I run as fast as I can sometimes, and I'm still there, right? So that's not the case. The case was that this gentleman shared something with me that how do I have a call right now? All right. Let's see. Let's see if this works. And if someone ever calls me again while I'm on the live, I'm gonna like really lose my mind. Continue audio. Can everyone see me okay? You can hear me okay? Like, this is okay? Okay, cool. All right, so let me just play with the screen real quick. You know, I gotta remember to just shut off the notifications for phone calls. But truth be told, no one ever really calls me, because every time someone calls me, I yell at them. So people usually sorry about that. Okay, we're back almost. Hold on. Hi. Welcome to the real. You know what I also love about all this? Because I'm not like the super techie person, things like this happen, and we all have the opportunity to see, okay, this is like a real thing. Like, there's a person in an office and people are calling him. It's a good thing that people call because they want to talk to me. That gentleman was someone that was calling, trying to tell me something before I had the mistake to be nice to him. And now, if you call someone and they don't pick up and they hang up on you, you do not call back again right away. Ron, you're always giving me such good advice. Anyway, and I had this angled differently before because I have a glare behind me. Okay, let's do this, guys. Let's go ahead and have so much fun. Anyway, so when I realized what the gentleman had said to me, I realized that it's my obligation to go ahead and not only be so inclusive that we can reach everyone, but it also is not to go ahead and scold anyone that offers advice, because the advice anyone offers is exactly what this platform needs. Because we go ahead and make such a broad outreach, right? When I go ahead and do emails or ask people to go ahead and send emails, it's not saying, hey, listen, do you have a whole bunch of like 25-year-old girls that are around? We want to go ahead and email only them. Hey, do you know people in Australia that are unvaccinated, because they'll be really receptive to our message? It's not that. It's completely broad. So each of those emails, the reason I keep it so broad is that we can collect a broad consensus back, right? That the people that respond are not from any particular walk of life, meaning that the consensus of such a broad outreach is by definition the globe. Like if I went ahead and emailed one boy and one girl out of every single country, asked them a question and 51% answered a certain way, I can feel quite comfortable that whatever that answer is to that question, that if I then go ahead and pursue that line, I'm going to win more times than not if I'm looking for a global audience. So in the spirit of that kind of calculation, this advice that was given to us, I like put my pride aside for a second and I said, you know what, he's right. Like when you take a look at Fox News and you take a look at MSNBC, you never have a crossover. They only go ahead and attract the people that agree with them. That's it. Therefore, they can never grow past what people agree on. And they're also completely dogmatic and they're chained to that view. There's no one on Fox News that could one day say, oh, and by the way, we did a lot of looking into it, and we believe open borders is actually a good policy. You couldn't. You would lose your whole audience. Your audience would go to zero. And that's not even making a determination if that is correct or incorrect. It's what you've trained your people to do. You've basically held hostage people by sharing a view that you know that they want to hear. That's not real. That's not okay. It gets you ratings, it makes you money. But is that something that could change the world? And I don't think it is. Right? Same thing with MSNBC. I don't think you'll ever have Rachel Maddow come out and say, on second thought, President Trump was really good. Like, can you even imagine the heart attack that their audience would have? You would actually have a cataclysmic event in this nation that 50% of the people would die of heart attack right away, especially the ones that are vaccinated because their hearts aren't good to begin with. Oh, Anthony, there you went, right? And I'm making a myocarditis joke, but I don't think that's a good joke to me. The point of the story is you would really shock people. So you have to be able to go ahead and reach people's minds, not their egos, if you want to change the world. So upon reading that email, I actually, and I always do this, I don't mean to say actually, every person that's ever emailed me knows I emailed them back. And I said, you're absolutely correct. I go, honestly, I thank you for that advice, because with a sober look, I do need to be better. I do need to, not allow people to feel ostracized and uncomfortable, and B, at the same time, not allow the other side of people that are enjoying what I'm saying to feel emboldened, to feel like they're at a rally, to feel like they're at a gang. That's not the case. We will always go ahead and meet truth where it's supposed to be, regardless of opinion. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to reach the masses. Because if you were to ask that question across the whole world, what do you like more, truth or being told what you want to hear? Maybe truth would only win by 51%, but I still believe truth wins. Therefore, if we can continue the truth, we should be able to have a good global audience. So the gentleman emails me back. He goes, you know what? I really appreciate what you said. In fact, I was completely convinced you were going to shrug me off or curse me out, because that's what other people do. Other people with big platforms do not take advice. And actually, I'm really impressed. Can we take a call? So we got on the phone. And the gentleman was talking about something, right? And it was a 20-minute story. And it's not that I took an interest in it, but not because I found it interesting, but because it was interesting to him, therefore it was interesting to me, therefore that's the content of a conversation, right? So we have it. Then the gentleman says to me, anyone here? So the gentleman says to me, hey, listen, I really, really like this. And I'd like to actually I would like to be a part of it in a bigger way. And start talking about investment amounts. Start talking large numbers. So the gentleman ended up putting $25,000 in last month. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Whatever. It's not the biggest investment. It's right kind of there with, people. And then last week was saying, hey, listen, I would like to buy $100,000 worth of Rhino coin. And I have a friend that would like to start buying some coin too. He would like to buy 20,000. Is that okay with you? And I said, yeah. I said, that's okay. I go, I just want you to know that amounts that large, you're not going to buy into this and then sell it 3-4 months later and take advantage of our managed market, because I'm accountable to our people. I'm not accountable to making one person rich, and I won't do it. I go, we're unwilling to take your money if that's what you're looking to do. He goes, well, I would like to recoup the money, but I do want to go ahead and be be an influence in Rhino and I want to have a position in Rhino. I said, okay. So we made a deal where he cannot pull out more than 100% of his money this year, which means he'll own coin going forward. But that money that comes in allows us to do stuff with it. And more so than that, puts a fire behind us because we got to do stuff with it over a scheduled period of time because we're going to have to allow redemption of that money. So over $120,000 had come in yesterday, which is pretty cool. You know, Rhino's doing something good, right? And if you take a look at the ledger, you could see the coin distributions and you could see number 2 on the list, et cetera, et cetera. Now, anyone that goes ahead and puts a large contribution to Rhino knows that they don't have a say in what we do, right? Like I allow everyone to have an influence. I take every call. I don't think anyone has ever said, oh, you know what, Anthony, he's just a stubborn mule and he only wants it his way. And he's going to run this platform into the ground because he doesn't take anyone's opinion. He doesn't take advice. He doesn't listen. He has too much ego. That's never going to be the case because I know that this only works if everyone's a part of it. It just has to be that way. So that's where we're at, right? So I want to take a second to kind of walk through where we're going because now we're like very well funded. We had a lot of money beforehand. That's even more money. And to think that we're never going to have another dollar again is crazy. Like money's coming in every day. In fact, I'll give you a fun little fact. There are 687 rhinos right now. This platform is that large. This platform has been up for 12 weeks and it's grown every single week. The average amount of coin the average rhino buys on the average week over 12 weeks is $34.81. That's how much comes into Rhino per rhino every week. Which means right now we're expecting, not expecting, but if the averages hold up, we have 687 rhinos times $34.81, whatever that number comes out to is coming into Rhino this week. I don't need to calculate it or monitor it, or well, not monitor, but like look for it because we're well funded. Money's coming in every single day. It's my job to now go ahead and do something with that because what we've always shared the whole time was that the vision of what Rhino is going to be is we've been able to go ahead and identify how to capture that value, and that's the coin, because the coin is going to facilitate every purchase that's ever on the platform. Therefore, the growth of the platform equals the growth of the purchases equals growth of the coin, and the growth of the coin is an investable asset from today, right? If we have a bazillion purchases, a year or two from now, and those bazillion purchases all go, and those bazillion purchases are all backed by Rhino coin, then that's a bazillion purchases of Rhino coin. Therefore, if you own the coin today where there's no purchases, it's going to be worth a lot. It's going to be worth a lot more after a bazillion purchases. So the person that has that vision is able to make an investment that they know is going to work out well for them, or at least they believe based on everything that they see. That money that that person's investing in that scenario comes into us today that allows us to build this to that scenario. So every investment that comes in is a self-fulfilling prophecy because we don't charge anyone for anything. We don't take any money. It's really actually freaking cool. So in a roundabout way, this is the way it works. So Rhino is a platform that welcomes everyone in. Rhino is a platform that believes every single person has their own business, whether you're selling your labor to an employer or selling your idea to a person, you are a business. Therefore, Rhino goes ahead and motivate. Rhino wants you to be a business on the platform, right? So whether you have an existing business, I own ABC cookies, okay, we put it on the marketplace. And I don't own ABC cookies. I'd like to own ABC cookies. All right, well, let's make you a website. Let's let you own ABC cookies and put it on the website and put it on the marketplace, right? Now that marketplace is where the engine of Rhino is, because every person that then buys from ABC cookies, say buy $100 worth of cookies, that $100 then gets converted into Rhino coin starting January 2023, which means it's $100 of buying in Rhino coin. And everyone knows when you buy something, it goes up, and when you sell something, it goes down. But what does it mean to the owner of ABC cookies? Well, I don't want to own $100 in Rhino coin. I want $100. Well, the Rhino wallet that we're putting into every company that's on our marketplace allows that individual to go ahead and redeem the coin for dollars immediately. So person buys $100 of cookies, $100 goes to ABC cookies, $100 of ABC cookies goes to $100 of Rhino coin. $100 of Rhino coin upon owner consent then goes back to $100 in regular dollars. So people say, Ant, why would you ever do that? Why would you buy and sell Rhino coin? Because it equals a transactional volume. The volume then goes ahead and represents the growth in the platform. So for instance, if Rhino coin has a volume of say $1 million a day in January 2023, and then has a volume of $2 million a day in, let's say, February 2023, one could say, look at that platform. It's growing 100% week over week. I'd like to own that coin. So that's where the value of the coin goes. It's completely supported by the growth of the platform, which is cool, fine, cool. How do you grow the platform though? Like that's the important part. And that's what's cool about this, right? Because, sometimes you can share a lot. And if the person you're sharing with doesn't have a level of open-mindedness or understanding, they can very quickly toss you out the window, right? Like, oh, Ant, that's a dumb idea. Like, you're dumb. Everything's dumb. Goodbye. Okay. And what I mean by that is when this platform was started, we had a certain business plan. And that business plan has evolved and evolved and evolved. And the new business plan is that we're going to continue to evolve into what the market says we're supposed to be. Therefore, that we can always be what the consensus wants us to be. Along the way, you need to know what the consensus wants, maybe even before the consensus knows they want it, which becomes the difficult part. Because if business was so easy that you just did a little bit of research, everyone would be a business owner. It's not that easy. You have to actually know what people want before they know they want it. Welcome to Steve Jobs and the iPhone. Do you think anyone told somebody that they wanted a touchscreen phone? No, it didn't exist. Nobody knew it. He believed that that's what they wanted, created it, and that's what they wanted, right? So through the process of what Rhino's been doing and listening to the people and understanding the frustration, the good, the bad, the ugly, Rhino believes that people want a choice. And in fact, in 2008, when we elected Barack Obama, which was really exciting, like he was one of the, still for my money, the best spoken politician I've ever seen. In fact, I sometimes watch his speeches just so I can learn, like I can become better at what I do. Amazing. Don't agree with any of his policies. But in terms of a person that represented the beliefs of many, perfect. I don't think you could do better, right? A real champion to break that glass ceiling. Don't agree with anything he says or did, but him as a politician, I think he was great at it. That being said, his whole message was change. Change you can believe in. Change. And change is a very powerful word. It just is. It's very powerful. It grabs people. And I think people want change. I do. But I think that's overly simplified because change to what? Right? Like, do you want change? Yeah, I want change to what? Oh, I have no idea. Right? Like, I just want change from here. And I think wanting change is a step in the right direction, but it's not the ultimate outcome. I think through our time together, what we've learned is people want choice. Choice to choose the change they want, right? And now we're getting a little bit philosophical, and actually only that sentence, because I'm not going to philosophy, but that sentence sounded very vague. And I think, like, we listen to people, and people vote politicians based on what's in their heart. They're either a really rich person and they want to go ahead and vote so that they can keep their taxes low, or they're an altruistic person and they vote because they want to go ahead and give back to, less privileged communities. And they do these things, and the way they go ahead and express that choice is by choosing the options they have, right? Like, say, for instance, you wanted to go ahead, and I think this is something we can all agree, like, in my time spent with Rhino, I don't think there's one single person that disagrees with the sentence that I'd rather support a local business than a Wall Street business. I think even if you're the most capitalistic, fair-minded person, even you would say, well, this is America. I'm still going to vote for Rocky over Apollo Creed, over Mr. T, over Ivan Drago. This is America. And whether as many people that are on this that aren't America, what's uniquely American, and maybe you could agree with it, we just root for the underdog. In fact, the whole nation is rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the St. Louis Rams, because the St. Louis Rams are from Glamour City, Los Angeles, City of Angels, bought all these players. They sold out their future with draft picks. They're the St. Louis Rams. And then you got the Cincinnati Bengals, who haven't like won something since like they got like 1989, right? But you got this Louisiana quarterback, second year in the league, first year blew out his knee, and he just wins. He's Joe Cool. They're in the heart of America, Cincinnati, Ohio. And they're not supposed to win. In fact, they were the underdogs in every game, and they keep winning. They were down to Patrick Mahomes by 18 points, and they came back and won. And I will tell you, this nation is rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals because that's who we are. So I think if you asked anyone, if given the option, would you like to buy cookies from Auntie Anne's Cookies, a big established company with chains all over, and probably owned by a Wall Street company somewhere, or Don's Cookies, right? Like Don, he's a nice guy. He has a family recipe, and he's just looking to grow it. I think 100% of people choose Don's Cookies. I just do. I think even if it's just the experience of trying something they've never tried before, and that's what Rhino has learned. That's what Rhino has absorbed. And the thing about Rhino that we've learned is that choice doesn't exist, which is the weirdest thing, right? It does not exist. There are companies, there are mom and pop shops, there are small businesses that if you ever knew about them, you would choose them 100 out of 100 times, but you will never, ever learn of them or hear from them, ever. And those people that own those businesses that could have had millions and millions of customers will never have that. They will go out of business, and they will become slave to the corporate system of becoming employees somewhere and being told that they have half-hour lunches. Because nobody has the choice to actually choose them. Now, you might think you have the choice. All right, well, I vote Democrat, and they are of the people, and they really work from a bottom-up approach, and they're going to put money into the communities, blah, blah, blah. Now, if that were true, you would have Democratic communities that have been around forever, that have Democratic mayors forever, that would have come up, right? And again, I'm not pointing out Democrats, because I'll do the same thing to Republicans. Well, you know what? I do that because I vote Republican, and they cut taxes, and the money trickles down, and their employees get bonuses, and more people have money. Therefore, that's the way I support small business. Either I'm bottom up or top down. That's what these two political parties share. That's the messaging they give you. So if you want to support small business, what do you choose, Republican or Democrat? Do you see what's so wrong with that question? It speaks far past the sale. The sale is that you don't have an option. These are your choices. You don't actually have an option, though. Or no, you don't have a choice. These are your options, right? Backwards. Well, that's not true. I do community outreach, right? Like I donate to charities, right? Okay, cool. I'm happy you do. Where does your donation go? How far does your donation go? Because if you help one or two companies, God bless you. You did God's work. But do you know how many companies there are? There aren't just one or two. So it's almost like pouring water in the ocean, saying the ocean sea level is higher. Yeah, that's technically correct, but it's so microscopic that it doesn't matter. How do you go ahead and support small business? If we believe that the vast majority of people, at least 51%, would support a small business over a big conglomerate Wall Street firm, then why aren't small businesses more successful? Well, you can go ahead and say COVID, and that would actually be a good answer, right? Like COVID came and all small businesses were deemed non-essential and big business was deemed essential, which is a problem in its own right? Like only Wall Street, like people could say big business and small business. How about we call it what it is? Wall Street businesses were essential, non-Wall Street businesses were non-essential. And during that period of time, Wall Street businesses vacuumed up all the customers that were in existence, and the small businesses, the non-Wall Street companies that went out of business because someone actually put chains around their doors and made it illegal that they even operate their company, lost their customers, and now they're just coming back into an economy with an inflation rate, meaning they have to purchase things more than they ever had to spend for. They cannot reach and scale. Like Walmart could buy much more things than you, so their cost is much lower than yours, meaning they can sell things much less than you, meaning the inflation you're going to pay to buy the same good, you can't sell at the price that they're selling at. And at the same time, the employees that you had since moved on to those companies who are now paying them $20 an hour because they made so much money during the whole pandemic. So not only did you not have a shop beforehand, but now you definitely don't have a shop. Any small business that thinks that they're going to compete with a big business, you're out of your mind, right? Like you're optimistic, right? Like you're wildly and whimsically optimistic. And actually, maybe that optimism was warranted because here we are, right? Like here's Rhino. And I got to tell you, more and more, I really feel like, I don't think anyone grows up and says, I want to be a superhero one day. I'm just not sure that happens. I know I've never been so, like, I've been so egotistical that I'm like, I'm going to be the president of the world, right? Not even the country, of the world. But I never said I want to be a superhero. But I got to tell you, the more and more I look at what Rhino's doing, it does have a superhero feel to it. Because what Rhino's able to identify and bring in everyone collectively to the table is able to talk to this person and this person at the same time, hear them and put it together as one. And what do I mean by that? If the belief is, and if the consensus is, people would like to support small businesses over Wall Street businesses, just on a premise of, you go ahead and root for the underdog, or even on the premise of, no, I support communities. These are my neighbors. Why wouldn't I support my neighbor? Or on the premise of, well, these are new things that no one's even tried before. Maybe Don has a certain peanut butter in his cookie that like makes your hair grow. I have no idea, but I know that you'll never have an idea because you'll never try Don's cookie. So there's so many reasons to support a small business, whether it's just being community centric, whether it's being altruistic, whether it's being uplifting, whether it's trying something new, there's so many reasons. The reasons to support a Wall Street business, like a really, really big company, is brand, right? Like they're so large that they know what they're doing and they're accountable to their shareholders. Therefore, they have a standard that they're going to upkeep. They are branded. When you go ahead and put a t-shirt on that has a Nike swoosh on it, you feel good. You feel like this is a high quality shirt. When girls buy purses that have the Coach on it, they feel good. They know the quality is good. When someone goes out and buys a Ferrari, they feel good. It's a Ferrari. It's branded. They know what they can expect. They know if they don't like it, they can send it back. There's so many certainties of what they're doing. So I understand it. Wall Street companies are important. I'm not saying they're not. Big companies, big successful companies are important. You should have a confidence level in the big things. And you should have the choice to pick that confidence level even in the small things. Nobody says you shouldn't. But do we believe that everything that we purchase in life needs to be made by a Wall Street company? In fact, if we were so educated to know that the demographics of the population has shifted to such a point that the rich are so uber rich because they have stock ownership in an inflationary environment where big business and big government are partners, that they're now elite status, that they now have an outsized control over population and neighborhood. And at the same time, because that middle class has been chopped away by COVID, that middle class has diverged. You either have some that elevated to the upper class, or the majority that elevated or de-levitated, right, like sunk to the lower class. That lower class being, all right, the job I did have is no longer there. My savings, I don't really have much anymore. My enhanced unemployment ran out. I'm of an age that I did not learn the new skill set for this economy that shifted so quickly. Like I didn't learn how to do Facebook marketing overnight just because there was a pandemic. I spent that time with my family. Like my grandmother was in the hospital. I got the time to spend with my family. We wear the mask, we listen to the mandates. And now we're just worried about the kids going to school. And yeah, I'm looking for a job. I know there are plenty out there. I just don't know. I don't think I ever saw myself working at Dunkin' Donuts. I know it's like 22 an hour, but It's just not what I wanted. I didn't want to be a barista at Starbucks. I didn't want to work at Lowe's. I always had a dream that I could build a family business and pass it to my kids. Those people are now lower class. Those people are now stuck on accepting that position. Those people actually have to pay back their enhanced unemployment because they didn't know there was taxes associated. Those people are actually worthless to the economy. The economy doesn't need them. The economy, in fact, on an economic basis, right? Just economics, you take the people out of it. If the top 1% were given the choice to allow the bottom 99% of this nation to die, their companies would lose sales, right? Actually, how about this? That's a little bit extreme. If the top 1% of this nation were given the option to allow the bottom 50% to die, they would say yes. Because they're worthless. They're worthless to the economy. In fact, the money that those people spend at their places comes from the government that they're paying taxes to. So if you ask those people, hey, listen, your customers will go down, but your taxes will go down too, because you won't need to actually pay those people to live anymore. Your taxes won't have to go to unemployment anymore. They would say yes, on a purely economic basis. Now, is that fair? Like, have you ever walked into a room and knew you had the leverage and didn't use it, right? Like you walk into the room and your husband or your wife cheated on you, right? Like something really bad. And they're begging you to get back with them. And you're like, I hate you, but we have kids and whatever. So you guys get back together. A week later, they do something. They fart in the kitchen. And you're like, you farted in the, and they're like, why are you giving me that? It's a fart, big deal. Yeah, well, you know what? You were lucky for me to have you take you back and blah, 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 because they have this leverage. It's not a leverage that's cool to use, but it's always there. And my point is, when you have such a dichotomy in wealth distribution, that leverage is always existing. It's just a matter of how naive you are to believe that it doesn't, right? So when politicians are elected, they're not elected because their ideas help the bottom. They're elected because their ideas help the top, because the top own the businesses that then tell the bottom what to do. They're called unions, right? Why do you think, why politicians will go ahead and hug the union leader of the teachers union or this union or that union? Because it's very publicly saying, if you're in this union, you're going to vote with me. That person that owns the union or leads the union is saying, hey, listen, I control 5 million votes. They vote with me. So you better make me happy. You start having these very, very elite status people. And I think we all know that, right? Like I don't, in my time with Rhino, it hasn't been that I did not realize that. And what I've learned being part of Rhino is that people have a tolerance for that, which is fine. There is a lot of people, and I'm always going to say over 51%, that actually aren't bothered by it. Yeah, I know. Politicians, the rules are different for them. Oh, the rich people, the rules are different for them. And they're okay with that. The part that they're not okay with is that when those positions grow to such a point that it takes from them, that they no longer have the freedom to go ahead and strive and pursue their own goals. That's when people get pissed. And that's where we are today. In my experience with Rhino, people are frustrated because they believe they no longer have the choice in their life, that their life is going to be dictated as told to them, that they don't even know if the job that they have today is going to be around a month from now because they think there's an even choice that we go into lockdowns a month from now. They believe there are people in this nation, a very good portion of them, that say 2022 midterm elections are going to be, we don't even know what, that a Democratic Party that's in control is going to do everything that they could to stay in control. And these are the guys that are very COVID conscious, right? Or that the Republicans are going to go ahead and make sure that certain races and certain people can't vote. And the ballot box, how can you trust it? There are people in this nation that do not believe that the elections will be decided in a fair fashion by the end of this year. Then what happens? And if you believe that, imagine Donald Trump runs again in 2024. There is a half of this nation that believes that their president is doing such a good job that for the other president to win, it must be because he had some type of influence, interference in the election. Do you think the half of this nation that votes Democrat would ever not have their heads blow up if Donald Trump won president again, even if he fairly won it? The point is, we can share all these views and you can say, Anthony, they're going to happen, or Anthony, they're not going to happen. But you can't say that 100% of people won't do exactly what I'm telling you to, which means nobody really knows what the hell's going to happen. And I believe that's frustrating. I believe that actually hits a point in people's lives that they haven't really hit yet, where it's like you really don't have any control over what's going to happen to you tomorrow. Like in Rhino Wealth, we went ahead and said that we're putting 20% of our money in silver coins, just because if the banking system gets a little kooky this year, that we have a way to buy gas. Now, you might say, Anthony, well, that sounds crazy. That sounds cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But if that were to happen, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, oh man, I really wish I listened to Anthony, right? So these things are only crazy if there's a 100% chance it won't happen. But if there's even a 10% chance it will happen, doesn't your family deserve that? Don't you owe that to them? So what Rhino has learned is there's got to be a way. How do we go ahead and identify a way that the people in this world that feel like they're being suppressed are able to gather amongst themselves and to find a value in their life that they know they're owed? Now, I don't say owed in the sense of like you're a privileged, entitled like brat. There are certain inalienable rights that this nation of people have. There are certain inalienable God-given rights that this civilization has. And in those, implicit in them is a collection of people that gather with a similar point of view are valuable, because it is them that can create a change amongst their immediate locality. If, for instance, ABC Town, everyone in ABC Town believes that you need to rub your belly for good luck because the belly gods believe it, guess what? ABC Town is rubbing their belly every day because everyone believes it. So you might say, Anthony, that sounds crazy. But if you have a population that's able to gather, then they are valuable. Because I can tell you, if only one person believes it's okay to rub your belly, no one's going to rub their belly. In fact, think about if one person in every country in this world thinks it's okay to rub your belly. What happens? Nothing. Now think about if one person in every country in this world congregated in one city. What happens? That city's rubbing their belly. How did that happen? Because no one person was important enough in their own town. Oh, the population of like minds that were moving in the same direction are valuable. And this is something that's known, right? So politicians know this, because if you're campaigning for election, you go to every single person. Why do you think they kiss babies? You think they give it? You think they care about your baby? They don't. But it's a good picture. Oh, look at this politician. He cares. He's a person. He's a man of the people. He goes into the community. He knows them so well that this mother who loves their baby more than anything else, that would lift a car off that baby, allows him to kiss that baby. Well, if she allows him to kiss that baby, a mother would never allow an evil person to come near her child. I like it. Wow, look at 10 people allowing him to kiss his baby. He must be Jesus Christ, right? Like, that's how politicians work. But do you think they really care about that one person? No, it's what they represent. That person represents a demographic, a group that believes in a similar set, and therefore they're going to vote that person in monolith. They're going to do it together. No one person is valuable enough, but a group is. Same thing with corporations. Do you think they really care to go ahead? The thing about corporations is what makes them so beautiful is they only care about money. Now you could say, Ant, that's good or bad, but I find a certain beauty in trusting something. And you can be a bad person, but if I could trust you're a bad person, that's beautiful. You're a bad person. I know you're a bad person. I trust that you're going to be a bad person. That's certainty. I'm okay with that. The thing with corporations is they only care about money. That's all they care about. Therefore, you can trust that they're going to do everything for money. So when corporations start donating to different causes and they bring different groups up on the stage and they're like, we stand with this person or we stand with that person, or it's all show and tell. It's like, okay, so we're selling Krispy Kreme donuts, right? Okay, so who eats Krispy Kreme donuts? Well, it's more expensive than Dunkin' Donuts, so we need like an affluent community. But it's not very health conscious, so we need like somebody that doesn't really care about their figure so much. It's like a bit of a treat, right? Like, how do we make it a treat? Okay, You know who we could sell this to? Suburban mothers, right? Because not that they don't care about their figure, but they're married. They're not going on the beach. They're not wearing thong bikinis, right? So they can allow the happiness and love of their life to turn thongs into grannies, right? Okay. Their husbands went away. They're home with the kids. They put the kid to sleep. They want that little treat. They take a bite of that donut and they're like, oh, this is great. I had my little reward for the day, right? Okay, cool. All right. So how do we win those people? All right. So I'm Krispy Kreme. I'm going to go into the community and I'm going to talk about gun violence and I'm going to talk about school safety because, oh yeah, mothers, they love their children. They want to make sure that they're safe in school. How about we just talk about education in school then? Okay. And that's how these people work. They don't care about that one person, but they care about messaging something to that one person that group is receptive to, because now that group purchases the donuts. Think about it. If even 70% of that group purchase the donuts, what about the other 30%? The other 30% see the 70% purchasing those donuts, and they say to themselves, yeah, well, if they like it, maybe I should too. And now you grew a demographic that is accountable and will be receptive to supporting that product. So the people don't matter. People never matter. No individual matters. But the group of people always matter because they always have a value. And what politicians and big tech and all these companies are so good at is they're purposely keeping people separated, right? Everything on the news is, okay, this team versus that team, right? This color versus that color, this gender versus that gender versus this gender, right? Like everything is like, but stay in your house, or don't go there, or don't trust this person. And you start to think, well, man, that's just the way the media works, The media loves, causing dissension. It's clickbait. People click it. They're happy to click it. Cool. But is that true? Because one could say that, so say a politician is running in your town, right? And that politician says, we are not going to build that new park that you guys wanted because, tax receipts and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, if you went ahead and turned to your townspeople, your neighbors, and said, hey, guys, listen, this guy doesn't want to build a park because he said some nonsense about tax receipts when we know he gets paid $237,000 a year, right? The park would cost like $10,000. Okay. Who here wants to go ahead and run for that position? And then the rest of us are going to vote you as long as you promise that you're going to build that park. Okay, cool. Oh, Fred, you'll be mayor. Thanks. You're going to build the park, right? Okay. Hey, Mr. Candidate, you remember you told us you couldn't build the park? Go kick rocks. We're going to vote Fred. Now the candidate says, whoa, I didn't think that people were smart enough to realize that if they gathered, I'm valueless. I'm without value. In fact, they gathered and I'm not even alive anymore. They picked Fred and Fred's going to be the new mayor. Oh man, I really effed up. Now you see how easy that was to share that story? Why does no one share that, right? Say for instance, your town has a store, has a store. Say you have a Walmart in your town. And Walmart will not go ahead and raise their minimum wage from $15 to $17, whatever the case. And they say, no, we can't do it. Taxes and profits and loss and shareholders, blah, 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 blah. Do you know if the customers of Walmart ever had the opportunity to get in a group and said, hey guys, listen, these people have been taking advantage of our grandparents. Take a look at how old the clerk is, that are just asking for $17 so that they can have a livable wage and they don't want to pay them $17. So if you guys are cool with it, can we all just never shop here again? And let's go into our own community. We have stores in the community, right? In fact, can we have some of us build our own companies and let's just support each other? Bye, Walmart, you're bankrupt. See you later. Walmart would be bankrupt overnight. Now you would think to yourself, well, Walmart, they're like this big behemoth. How can that ever happen? Because they're all vulnerable to population. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The thing that no one ever seems to understand is there's not a single politician ever in elected office without a vote. There's not a single company ever in business without a customer. We are those people. We can seriously turn to each other and say, guys, you want to just do this instead and tell this person to go? right? Like you can do that. And these companies would fold. They would cry. They would say, no, 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 please, 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 please. We'll raise it to 17. I swear, I swear, I swear. You know what? We'll raise it to 20. Just please be our customer. Because what you don't understand is well, actually, what you do understand, the tolerance that you have, you never put together. The lives that they live is funded on you being their servant, on you being so subservient that you allow them to have what they have is how they live their lives. Now, that's a little unfair because it's like, Aunt, I don't live my life to go ahead and be a warrior. I didn't live my life. I don't look to go ahead and fight battles all day. I just want to raise my children and live in a home. How do I go ahead and fight them? That's what Rhino is. And that's actually what we understood with Rhino. That if anyone was given the choice to do something so simply that they can do one thing in the privacy of their own home, that every time they did it was effectively fighting back on the behalf of everyone they want to fight for, they would. If I said to you, you will have no disruption to your life at all. You will live the same exact life you live right now. The only difference is when you go ahead and do one thing, you're going to press A rather than B. And if you do that one thing, every time you do it, will take away from those companies and punish those people, and you will support these people. Would you say yes? And I think everyone would say yes. And that's Rhino. So how does that work? Like, how do you do that? How do you find that? Search engines. It's that simple. Search engines. Because what is a search engine? A search engine is a portal that connects impulse to product, right? It connects somebody that wants something to somewhere they can get it. Because when you want something, there's a bunch of variables that enter the equation, some more important than others. Price, availability, location, immediacy, right? If I want a sandwich and I'm in a place with $10 sandwiches and I only have $10 and the next place I could get a sandwich is 2 hours away, but I could get it for $5, what am I going to do? I'm going to buy the sandwich for $10 because I'm not going to save $5 by waiting 2 hours. I want the sandwich now. I'm hungry now. That's a search engine. Now, the search engines that exist are all Wall Street owned search engines. So all of their results are Wall Street companies. It's their clients, which means these small businesses, the Main Street companies, the people that we are, the people that you are, the community that you want to help, you can't. You don't have the choice to do it. You don't have the ability to do it because the companies you want to help aren't big businesses. They do not make profit for those search engines. So those search engines have no care to go ahead and show their results. Because if a search engine showed the results of a small business, then that's in place of the results of a large business. And a large business pays them money. A small business does not. You would say, well, and some small businesses, they could do ad spend. Sure. How much ad spend does a small business have to do for a population to actually see them as results on a regular basis that they go ahead and trust them? You can't do it. There is no way a small business can grow in today's search engines. Okay, well, yeah, well, can't they go on Facebook, do ad spend? Yeah, they can do ads. But can they? Facebook is a wonderful company. Their ability to do things is fantastic. I don't agree with a lot of what they do, but I believe that Mark Zuckerberg's heart is in the right place. I believe that he thinks the things that he's doing is for the good of the future. And if that means he has to break a couple of eggs now, he's accountable to the omelet that he sees in the future. That's it. What am I going to say, right? If I believe his heart's in the right place and I don't agree with what he's doing, that's America, right? Like, God bless. I don't have to use Facebook, right? In doing so, his platform is so large and it's funded by ad spend, right? Like, okay, I want you to go ahead and Don's Cookies. So Don puts an ad for Don's Cookies on Facebook. Okay. So what does Facebook do? Well, they look at the ad and then they post it. Think about what I just said. They look at the ad and post it. How many people put ads on Facebook? So how can Facebook ever look at every single ad? They couldn't. So they have all this different AI technology that looks at different words and keywords and phone, blah, blah, blah. But every time they allow a new ad to go up, they are risking that that ad is doing something illegal. Like say, for instance, Don Cookies was really a cover for underage child pornography, right? Well, Facebook, when founded, they would say, oh my God, I clicked an ad on Facebook and it went to child porn. It'd be all over the place. Facebook runs ads for child porn. And it would be true. That would be a true sentence. Do you know what happened to the stock of Facebook if that ever happened? Do you know what happened to the company of Facebook? They get annihilated. Meaning Facebook now is so large that they run the risk of having too many customers. They have to now know their customer, which means any new business that's looking to do something new cannot even in the most faintest idea think that their new ad is going to be accepted right away, B, disseminated over the masses. And even if they said, well, I have $1 million, I'll put in $1 million ad spend a day, Facebook's going to go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now we're really talking. I don't know where you got $1 million from, but that's a problem. We need to know who you are right away. Meaning you couldn't even do your business on Facebook. It's impossible. Okay. All right. So I can't do it on search engines. I can't do it on Facebook. I can't do ad spend. How do I get my small business to be accepted? How do I get people to see it? How do I get people to go to it? You don't. That's the problem. So when we were talking about all these politicians and all these people that want to support small business and they do these tax credits and this and that, maybe their heart's in the right place. Like that's the most generous thing I could say. But if you give me a tax credit to my small business, but don't give me the ability to get any customers, what does the tax credit do? So you can go ahead and get elected and fool the people. Hey, I'm for small business. Or maybe not even fool people. Maybe you really are for small business, but it's not in your arsenal. You can't do anything to help them. Therefore, people that vote, people that say they want to help small business are picking one of the options available, but it's not what they're choosing. It's the option that they have. But search engines is something. So how does it work? Now, a search engine is the portal that allows you to type in what you want to find, and it brings you to the results that offer you that finding, right? I want to find a hat. I like hats. Click search. And then presumably there'll be a bunch of hat companies come up. Now, the search engines that we have are Google, Yahoo, MSN, Bing, AOL, DuckDuckGo, and every little stupid search engine in between that all go by the same rules. They're all Wall Street owned. But even more so than that, their search results are based on the internet. They have an open search result for the entire internet, and they all have some kind of same algorithm, right? All right, the websites that have the most views, the most traffic, they're the ones that are obviously the most trusted. People go to them, therefore we're going to show them our search results and we'll prioritize them. Therefore, whatever search engine I am, ultimately I'm always going to be doing the same thing. I'm either going to be showing the people that pay me to show their ads or people that have the most traffic to their site, which presumably are large Wall Street companies because they're the ones that have the money to make sure the traffic keeps going. Why isn't there a small business search engine? Why? If everyone would choose supporting a small business over a Wall Street company, and a search engine allows you to enclose the results to only show the results of what you're looking to show, then presumably you can create a search engine that you edit the results, not edit, you filter the results to only show a certain demographic. Now, of course, you want to be transparent. This is the redheaded stepchild search engine. Every company you search is owned by a redheaded stepchild. Okay, I'll search it knowing I'm supporting redheaded stepchilds. Now, obviously, it's a really small niche. I don't think that's going to be a successful search engine. But what if you had a search engine that only showed results of small businesses? This is the non-Wall Street search engine. We're all non-Wall Street results. If you want to search a Wall Street company, go search a Wall Street search engine. If you want to go search a Main Street company, search Rhino Street search engine. Wow, it's actually a good idea. So what does that mean? All right. So you're telling me, Anthony, that if I simply search that search engine, then every result that ever comes up are the small businesses that are demographically the ones that are being taken advantage of. They're the guards. You remember, middle class is the guard between totalitarianism and slavery, right? Because you need the people in the middle because they're the ones that decide elections. The upper class vote upper class. The lower class vote lower class. It's the middle ones that are always the independents. Without them, you do not have a guard between those two extremes. You're left with them. Middle class is so important because they're the ones that are like, life is good. I can look at a decision based on its own merits. People that don't have anything look at things in their own self-interest. People that have everything look at things in their own self-interest. People that have just enough and have the ability to continue working and growing look at things in a bigger picture, right? It's like what was it with the porridge and the bears? You know, one's too hot, one's too cold, Goldilocks, right in the middle. That's the middle class. So Anthony, okay. So if I use this search engine, my results are only small businesses. It's only non-Wall Street companies. No matter who I search, no matter what I search, the results that come up, I will be supporting a non-Wall Street company. Yes. How do I get in there? Like, how do I become a search result? Because I have a company or I want to be on a company. This sounds pretty good. Like, how do I do it? Just apply. As long as you're not a Wall Street company, you're going to go through our team. The marketplace team is going to talk to you. They're going to build your site. If you have a site, we're going to bring it over. You are going to be a search result. Okay, wait a second. So I can search people just like me and support like a philosophical conundrum, something I want to do. I want to support small businesses. So I can support small business just by searching. And at the same time, I know how popular this is. Everyone wants to do that because everyone would want to do that. So how do I become on that search? I just apply and I could be a result as well. Therefore, I could be searching for people just like me because people are searching for people like them and they're searching for me. Yeah. Whoa, that's really cool. If I ever had the option to support, to know before I make a search, whether I'm searching for Wall Street companies or non-Wall Street companies, I would always at least start at non-Wall Street companies and see what's out there. Maybe there's like a 10-year-old with a lemonade stand somewhere. Like, I want to see what's out there first. So maybe I always start on Rhino Street and then I'll go to Wall Street if I can't find what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're offering you the choice. The value in what Rhino's doing is the choice, because if you can see that this choice is a 50-50 choice, that this gives people a choice that they've never had before, because when you search, you go directly to search. You've never had the opportunity to actually go ahead and say, you know what? Who do I want to search? And when given that opportunity, I think more people than not would go ahead and search the small businesses, at least go ahead there. And I think the percentage of people that would search the small businesses is a Rhino obligation. That's an education that we need to go ahead and disseminate. That's ads we need to put out there. That's talks we need to have. That's town halls we need to have. That's events we need to have. If we can go ahead and increase the people that are searching, then by definition, the searches will equal search results, which will equal traffic to the companies that are listed. Therefore, the more searches equal the more search results, equal the more companies that are going to be listed because they want to go ahead and capture the search results. Well, how are you doing all this, Ant? Like, that's a great idea. Like, but you don't charge anyone anything. In fact, no one here has paid me a single dollar to do anything, because this is where the value of group is worth more than value of the people. That Rhino Street search engine, which is actually being coded right now. Our ad campaign is being produced right now. March 1st, we will launch this. Starting April 1st, Anthony will be traveling this country, having 1,000 people events all over America, bringing people to the platform, educating the population as a whole, reaching out and talking to people, going to chambers of commerce. My job is to do that, because here's where it all comes together. The search results will all have the Rhino wallet. That Rhino wallet transacts, finalizes all transactions in Rhino coin. meaning every company on the platform, every search result that gets any purchases will collect the purchase frictionless, the person buying and the person selling as if they already were, right? No touch. But that cash then gets converted to Rhino coin, which is then able to be converted right back to cash. But the coin, if you can say, all right, this, Anthony, what you're doing makes all the sense in the world. This might even be bigger than Google. Well, imagine if every single dollar that ever was purchased, that ever was transacted on the Google because of the Google platform was all captured in one coin. Well, the value of that coin would be like astronomical. That's what funds the platform. That's what allows the platform to go where it's going, because the people that have the vision to see, I want that coin, buy the coin today. In fact, the coin today is 3 cents. Last month it was 2 cents. The month before that was 1.5 cents. By December of this year, it'll be 13 cents. By next year, January 2023, it'll be a free floating coin. It will have the value that's dictated to have based on supply and demand. Our supply and demand, we already know it because we calculate and report it every single week. We have all the metrics. We give them to everybody. So in doing so, when you're able to do something like that, one would say, well, Anthony, this coin is, it sounds like this coin's going to be worth a lot of money. But I kind of feel a little yucky about it, because who owns the coin? Like, is it just the investors, just people that are smart enough, or people that have the ability to buy it today are going to be the ones that own it? So it's kind of like the same thing. It's early investors in a new good idea own all the money. No, it's not that. Because what Rhino also does is every single person on the platform gets 50 coin per month. It is given to them. We pay you to be on the platform. So not only do you come to this platform and wonder, like, why is everything free, and why we're making sales for you, and why we're making your site, and why we're involving you in a community, and why we're giving you the ground floor approach all the way up. We're actually paying you to do it, because we know that upon being successful, which anyone could look in my eye, if you think I'm not going to be successful, you're out of your mind, that upon that date, when we hit that date, that coin is going to be worth more than anything we invested to today, because the value of society is in people, certain God-given inalienable rights that are unique to people. And if we can grow a community where the average person says, of course I would rather support a small business than these Wall Street firms, then conceivably, of the 7 billion searches Google has every single day, of all these different searches, let's say there's 10 billion searches across the globe in a day. If Rhino can even have 1 billion of them, now we believe 50%, why wouldn't 50% want to support small over large? But let's say only 10% when we fully mature, right? When we fully mature, say a couple of years from now. If we could have 1 billion searches a day that go to 1 billion different small businesses that lead to X amount of transactions, which all transact in a coin that goes up in value because of it, I think we are a superhero. I think we would have really been the reason that the percentage loss in small businesses would turn around. I think we would be the reason that big businesses had to come back to reality. I think we would be the reason that we'd have a small business renaissance that no one's ever seen before. I think we would be the reason that education was given to people that they didn't have before. I think we would be the reason that there'd be a certain level of financial freedom and ownership that no one's ever had before. I think we can do that. I think that's what we're going to do. I think that's what we plan to do. And I think every day we get closer to it, we're going to do it better and better. Because if anyone watched these lives 2 months ago, they'd be like, "And you've come a long way since then, and we will continue coming a long way." So that's Rhino, right? So I know I'm well over. How do members actually receive Rhino coins? I love that superheroes. It's distributed to them every single month. So as of today, everyone should receive their certificates. And I'm embarrassed to ask if you did, because if you didn't, I'm going to look a little silly. But I did speak to Abigail before, and I know the certificates were set up to be sent out today. So if you did not receive them yet, you will. Every first of the month or second of the month, right, we send out updated certificates. So got mine, thanks. Sorry, thank you, God. I was like really praying, someone please say they got it. So all the certificates went out. In just participate, like for instance, if you just sign up to one Zoom, right, like what we're on right now, you're in our database. You are a part of Rhino. You are receiving coin every single month. So actually, I know it's 3:14, and I know we only do this for an hour, but I haven't been with you guys for a while, so I want to just take a little bit more time. This is not to be an example. We always keep it an hour. This is just Anthony gone wild, right? So let me just see if I could spend 10 minutes showing you stuff, right? All right. So first of all, what does Rhino Street look like? Okay. So it's really quite quaint, right? Rhino Street, search on the bottom left, how Rhino works. This goes to our site, become a search result. It'll go and offer you to be a search result on our company, right? On our search engine. Now, this is not functional. This is just to show you what it's going to look like. This is being custom coded as we speak, but this is what it is. Now, of course, would we have preferred to just be Rhino? Of course. But Rhino is a URL that's been taken since 1995, and it's part of Warner Music Group. It's something they do. So what we decided was, well, we got to come up with something that makes sense. All right, all search engines are owned by Wall Street. Okay, Wall Street. We are helping Main Street. We're Rhinos. Rhino Street, that makes sense. So we're going to be constantly making the distinction between wallstreet.com and rhinostreet.com. Now, wallstreet.com, I don't even think exists. Like, I'm sure it exists somewhere, but it's not a search engine. But Google, Yahoo, I don't want to say their names and be like, yeah, go to Google or Rhino Street, because now Rhino Street sounds like inferior, like they have the one name and we have the two name. No, the reality is they're all the same and they're garbage. If you want to go to wallstreet.com and search, fine. But if you want to go to rhinostreet.com and search, here you go. So we're going to make sure that we do an ad campaign that allows people to lose the name of Google, gain the name of wallstreet.com as a search engine, put them all in the same conglomerate, and look at us as a differentiating factor. So little behavioral science there for you. That's what that's going to be. It's going to be really great. Okay. So that's that. Now let's say we go to google.com, right? And we do this because we want to show that we are still number one because we kick so much butt. And I got to tell you, Google's probably not going to keep us number one for much longer when they find out what we're doing. So let's just cherish while we are, because we're still number one on every first page, because that's what Rhino is, and that's the community we have. Yeah, Ant, that's not you. That's a paid ad. Yeah, Ant, that's not you. That's a paid ad. Yeah, Ant, that's not you. That's a paid ad. Yeah, Ant, that is you. Ha! In front of Sproutland, in front of Salesforce, in front of another Salesforce, in front of YouTube, in front of global news, in front of Wikipedia. That's how important Rhino actually is. And if you don't believe me, let Google tell you, right? So let's go to distributedmarketing.com. So, all right, first let's do the marketplace. I want to show you this. So these are the companies we currently have in our marketplace. Now, these companies know, and I think these companies probably get a little traffic, right? But what's really so amazing about these companies is, first of all of the logos we created. Some of them are theirs, but some of them most of them we created. And a lot of the sites we went ahead and created as well. But what this Rhino Marketplace really stands is kind of like a proof of concept. Because again, we've been evolving the whole way through. So what this marketplace allows you to see is, yeah, these are all the companies that are on Marketplace. These are the companies that we like. These are the companies that are just like you and I. These are the small business mom and pops that are saying, hey, listen, we want to be in an area where someone that wants to help small business gets to find us, because that's who we are. And we believe we could do good by them. They believe they could do good by us. Let's get into a room together. This allows group mentality, allows the value of the group. And in doing this, this is what we realized. Well, we can't really, like, how do you find what you're looking for, right? Like, you can't really find what you're looking for. You look at the logos. All right, so we should have some type of search feature, right? Like, I want to go ahead and learn how to play the guitar. I could go to Easy Guitar Basics, right? So we create the search feature, and then that's when the search engine idea hit us. Holy, we got something here. What if we were able to do that? That's exactly what we want to do. Now, the reason we're here is to show you that no one's alone. Like, this is an idea that a lot of people really, really like. This is only the first page, right? Page 1 of 2. But this is the proof of concept. This is the 1.0 version. Because when the search engine comes, there's going to be thousands of companies and 10,000s of companies, and the goal is to get to millions of companies. That all starts on a one-by-one basis. And when I start traveling this nation, having events and sharing with big crowds and allowing people to sign up right there, we're going to have companies quite quickly. But the companies that are going to be the ones that are going to be viewed first, that are ready to go upon our launch, will be the companies that are already made, right? So when we do our launch March 1st, it's the only companies that are going to be able to be seen are the ones that are already there, which means it's very, very important that we grow our results very quickly, because if people come to Rhino Street and they search for something they don't even get a single result for, why would they come back? So our searches, we're probably not going to start allowing them till April, but between now and then, it is our job to build the search results as far as we can, like just build it. And that's what I'll be doing when I'm traveling. But the ones that are able to get in now is right here. So this is what I want to show you. So if you do join Rhino Street, you get to the form. Now I'm going to put it in the chat bar, and I know people are chatting. I'm going to go through the chat and answer all the questions. I'm just like really in a flow. So I'm just going with it. So if you go ahead, and what I would really like is if everyone can take a second, if you're not on the marketplace yet, please go ahead and fill out this form, because what we're asking for is your contact, right? Your first name, last name, email, phone number. And these are only to contact you, because what you're opting into is that you may be placed on the platform. So when you go ahead and do those lead magnets and you put your phone number and some idiot calls you like a million times, like someone called me before, which I told them to call me in an hour. And if this person calls me while this goes, there's a real chance it's going to happen. So let's continue. That's not us. You're opting into actually being on the platform. So we're going to email you first. And if we can't email you, we'll call you. Hey, we want to go ahead and put your site up. Where's your site? Let's go ahead and move it. Do you need us to help you with the site? Do you need us to help you make a logo? What do you need from us for you to be super happy with your site, right? Like that's a phone call you want to get. Is it an existing business? Do you already have the business? Or is it a future business? Like, is it an idea you have and we're going to make it for you? That's really cool. No one's charging you. We're going to make it for you because we need the results. People always say, well, if something's free and it's too good to be true, it is. No. It's not free. We need it. We're doing it for you, but for us, and we're doing it on behalf of everyone. You got to remember, we're acting in the interest of the group. So we're treating you as an individual in the interest of the group, meaning we know we're not getting anything from you, but we need you to go ahead and be in the interest of the group, which you're a part of. And when that makes sense, you're finally getting it, right? What's your business name or what do you want it to be? What's your business or what's your business idea? What's the website for your company, or what's the website, or do you need one? Do you need us to get you a URL? Do you have a logo? Put it there. If you need one, type you need a logo. Click, you need a website. Click other. I need a ham sandwich, right? And submit. It goes directly to us, and our team's going to be with you right away. That's how you get on the marketplace. Now, what I do want to show you is Rhino Coin. And not because I'm asking you to purchase it, because we started with that we're really cashed up. So we're not ever saying, please, please, please give us money. So I need to make that distinction. I want you to own the coin. I do not want you to own the coin because you feel like Anthony sold you into it, right? The reason we're going to the coin right now is first, I want to show you the ledger. Because this is where you can see how much coin is owned by who. Now, of course, it's only their first name, so you don't know who the person is. I have their last name, I have their email, but we're not going to share that with you because that's, sensitive information. But this is a sheet that's updated every day for everyone to see. You can see the person that bought all the coin, his name is Mark. Maybe someone knows a Mark. I don't know, right? So as you go, you're able to scroll down and say, wow, a lot of people have purchased coin. A lot of people own the coin. This is a really strong community of a lot of people that are all a part of it. And you could keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, right? So there's the ledger for you. Also, if you ever want to sell the coin, you have the ability to. You just simply first name, last name, email. What do you want to sell it at? As you know, it's a managed market. This year it goes up 1 penny per month. So you can say, oh, well, August looks like a good month for 9 cents. I'd like to sell it for 9 cents in August, right? How much would you like to sell? Bing, bing, boom, submit. Comes directly to me, and we sell your coin that month of the people that are purchasing the coin. Now, what I really would like to show you, and we'll let you go with this, right? I think View Rhino balance sheet. Now, this is actually all the numbers for Rhino. Now, this is twofold. This allows you to go ahead and make an informed decision. Do I want to be a part of Rhino? Do I want to own the coin? And it allows you to have a certain level of comfort. This is the community I'm in. This is how we're growing. What I do matters, right? So what you'll find is yellow are weeks that we've already progressed through. Green is the week that we're currently on. The next green line is January 2023. Red line is when it's projected that the 1 billion coin will be gone. And the last green line is January 2024. Cool. So what you'll find is that week one, we had 185 people. Well, actually, this is really week one, but we didn't really do much. So for all intents and purposes, this is week one. 185. Now, mind you, we have done no ad. Again, I do a $10 ad spend a day just to stay in Facebook's good graces. But that's not enough to go ahead and convince the internet to come to us. This is all organic. This is all word of mouth. This is all Rhino being Rhino. This is people hearing about Rhino and saying, I want to be a part of that, which is why we know we are where we're supposed to be, because everything we've done, we've taken everyone's opinion, we've taken everyone's advice, we put it together and we formed something that everyone could be a part of in the most easy way, the most profitable way, and the most self-satisfying way. 185, 241, 310, 376, 417, 476, 513, 551, 583, 646, 673, and it's already Wednesday and it's 687, right? These are the amount of companies that have put their businesses on Rhino that we've made for them. This is the amount of revenue that on annual that they would average to make. This is the amount of coin that's been purchased by investors. An investor is someone defined as someone that would just like to purchase Rhino coin. Not like I call Wall Street, right? Just the people on the platform decide to buy more coin. Look at this going up every single week. Guys, $34.81 per Rhino per week is the average amount of coin that's purchased. So all the metrics are here. How many daily, look at the daily views, by the way. Do you know last week we had a day that 3,782 viewers were on our site? That's a lot. That's like a lot. So the daily views, the Rhino Marketplace, the platform member, the webinar registrants, the platform members, the businesses, the projected annual revenue, the projected weekly revenue, the amount of coin that's given to the members, the amount of coin that investors are purchasing, the literal value of the coin, the demand ratio, the 3-month growth rate. Take all those numbers, calculate it together, and you get these numbers. Now, these numbers right here are the managed market numbers, right? So 1.5 cents in December, 2 cents in January, 3 cents in February, 4 cents in March. We know that. But that's where this green line comes into place. What is the projected value of Rhino coin if nothing changes and our growth stays exactly the way it is between now and January 2023? $2.24. Now, if you purchase the coin today at 3 cents and in like 10 months, it's how many times does 3 go into 224? 74? 74 remainder 2. If you could make almost 7,500 times on your money in 10 months, would you do it? Well, Ant, that sounds good, but how can I actually believe you? Well, here's all the numbers. You think these numbers, you know what? I'm going to show you something super cool. So look at this number, $2.24, right? Cool. Remember, $2.24, $2.24. Okay. Now, see how many members we have? 687. Let's say next week we only have 200, right? What was the number? $2.24. Watch all of these numbers. Now, don't memorize them, right? Unless you're like really, really super good at this. But unless you're a savant, that's what I meant to say. But just watch them. Did you see it? They're all going to change because this number is calculated against this number, which is calculated against this number, which is calculated against this number, which is calculated against this number. And all of these numbers are calculated against this row, which is calculated against this row, which is calculated against this row. Every number is a domino. It leads to the next one. So watch this again. What's that number now? 17 cents. Whoa. That changes things. What's the point? The point is, because we are the most transparent platform I've ever been a part of, that we go ahead and actually, in real time on a daily basis, report every number we do while doing lives every single day for you to ask every single question, to have every single email, to book calls with us. you always have a sense of where exactly we're going, and you would know it before we ever get there. Now, this is if things remain constant. In April, I will be traveling this nation every single weekend, giving a weekend event. I believe that if you put me in front of 1,000 people and I really hone in the messaging, that I really truly, and then you allow me the weekend to be a part of these communities and meet the people and go to the dinners and bring my beautiful wife and bring my beautiful son, I truly believe that these numbers are going to go on fire. In fact, I truly believe that I already know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have media events all over the place, and this nation will have to know who we are because we will make it known, because we will travel everywhere. We are giving everything away. And if someone wants to say to me, oh, how dare you make a small business search engine, I'll say, go kick rocks, kid, right? So do you think we're going to get better numbers or worse numbers? I think better numbers. And I think in January 2024, when the coin is projected to be 15,000, I think once we do everything we're doing, this number is going to be far higher. So let's play a game, right? So let's say, so this is February, this is March, this is April, this is May, this is June. All right, so let's say in June, this number, like we really did great. And instead of having 8,800 members on the platform, we actually have 15,000, right? This 224 is now 623. That 15,000 is now 43,000. Because all of these numbers calculate to the next number. They're all growth rates. They're all AI technology or calculations where the previous growth rate that's already calculated is then extrapolated going forward. Meaning any uptick in our growth exponentiates. Any downtick also does the same. So do you believe the future is going to be brighter or worse? Because the only thing that we've done so far is sit in like a room and talk to the people that gave us the ability, that gave us your advice, that allowed us to see clearly. Now that we have a message that organically is growing across the world, do you think we could go ahead and share it in person? I think if anyone thinks that the future is dimmer than what it is today, you are cuckoo and certifiably insane. That's my opinion. So that is Rhino balance sheet. I want to show you, before I show you how to buy the coin, I want to show you how to be a partner. So becoming a partner of Rhino allows you to be an affiliate, right? I like saying partner because I think affiliate is a really ugly word. It just doesn't sound good. But click that link and it's going to bring you to a page that allows you to put your name and your email. Duh, right? Affiliate. And upon doing so, you'll come up to this dashboard where you have a nice, beautiful shortened link and you have all of these buttons. Now, every one of these buttons, we took the time to go ahead and create the copy that allows you to press the button and press send. Every single person that you bring to the platform that subsequently registers to be an owner, to be a member, to be a partner, to be anything, earns you 10 Rhino coins. So yeah, and I want to own the coin. I want to be a partner. I don't feel like buying any of it, but I'd like to, I see what you're doing here. I want to go ahead and share with other people. Here's your option, right? Here it is. So for instance, if you click the mail button, right? All right, hi friend, if you could take a moment and blah, blah, blah. It's a very nice message. This link right here, distributormarketing.com, is already coded with your affiliate link. So look, if we go ahead and copy link, do you see it? It's blah, 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 13 CBO. My affiliate link is already in it, meaning everything that we've done for you in terms of this, in terms of all these tools for your partner dashboard is already coded. It's already scripted for you. Hey, do you want to go on, I don't know, Twitter? Okay, cool. There's a Twitter message and there's your link. Go ahead and just click send onto, click tweet onto your thing, right? Oh, you want to go ahead and do it on Instagram? There's the link. Copy the link, go to your Instagram. You want to do it on LinkedIn? You want to do a text message? You want to do WhatsApp? You want to do Twitter? There it is. Well, what about more? I don't know. Here's a banner. Put it on your site. Here, you want to go ahead and pin it on your Pinterest? There it is. We've done everything to make this so super easy for everyone that if you want to be a part of it, you can simply spend 3 minutes, click submit, click submit, click submit, and you can have millions, thousands, hundreds of people go ahead and sign up and help the cause. you could go ahead and be singly responsible for the growth that is Rhino. All right, and I get it, right? How do I just buy the coin, right? Like I just want to buy the coin. I see what you're doing. I love you. I want to buy the coin. Okay, get Rhino coin. So I'm going to copy and paste this. And then I'm going to go on this, right? Because it's 2:35. You know, it's like I do one day a week and then I'm going to end up doing 7 hours because I can't stop myself. All right. So you get onto the site and what you'll see right here, if you could go ahead and click it, is price over the next year. What's the value of Rhino coin over the next year? Like I said, it's a managed market. January, 2 cents, February, 3 cents, March, 4 cents, April, 5 cents, so forth and so forth. January 2023 market price, because we will be on Kraken and Coinbase and Binance, and you'll be able to freely trade it. What's the value of it at that point? That's what the whole Rhino coin sheet is, to go ahead and predict the value. Because I'll tell you economics 101. If you can tell me the supply and you can tell me the demand, I'll tell you the price. Okay, so all right, so Ann, how do I buy this thing? All right, so right now it's 3 cents. We saw March, 3 cents. No, February, 3 cents. All right, I want to buy like, I don't know, $200 worth. Okay, these are $100 increments. They're only $100 increments, so you buy as many quantity of $100 as you'd like. 300, did you say? No, $200 you said. Okay, $200 is how many increments of 100? 2, right? You have to click up for 2. Okay, so 2. So purchase. All right, so I want to purchase $200 worth. So how do I make sure? So, oh, she still didn't put the SSL up. I'm going to, you know, if Abigail wasn't so amazing, I would like give her one of these. But we have SSL certified, so all of your transactions are secured. I like having the sticker up. It's kind of like when you have a house and you put the alarm on the window so people know you have it. It's there, but I like the sticker there. She took it down, and she's so great that I let it slide. But I'm going to tell her again, and if it's not there by next week, off with her head, right? Anyway, so 2 times 100 equals $200, right? $200, subtotal $200, right? Okay, checkout. In checking out, you have your shipping details. What's your name? What's your address, city, state? These are things that are then used to correlate to your payment method. So obviously I know this is an email, right? Like I know we're not shipping you something, but this is banking information as well, all right? So continue. And again, I know we're not actually shipping you something, but we do have items that do ship, right? Like we have charity functions for merchandise, which is actually being updated as we speak. So I'm not going to show it to you just yet. If you want to see it, God bless, right? So click whatever. What is your payment method? And then continue. Upon clicking continue, you're going to receive an immediate email of your purchase confirming it. And the certificates that we shared that everyone received, they received the 1st or 2nd of every month. So you're not going to receive one today because they already went out. You'll receive it the 1st of next month, unless you say, hey, Aunt, I really, really want one, in which case I'm always going to say yes. I'm such a pushover. If you ask me for anything, I'm going to say yes. So just saying. This is a certificate you're going to get. It has our seal on it, certificate of ownership, your name, the amount of coin you purchased, my signature, fully authenticated, the price of the coin, so that every time you have a certificate, you can say, I own this much coin at this price, this is what it's worth, right? You will always know your holdings. Not only do we have a full ledger, not only do we publicize a full ledger, and not only do you have the certificates, right? Everything is there, and everything is done through Stripe, so you have a paper trail as well. Everyone is secure, safe, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll receive that and continue, and that's that, right? So I think I went over everything. So let me go ahead and stop the share. I'm going to look at the chat, and then I'm going to go, because I'm already 40 minutes over, and I'm really happy everyone stayed. That's really cool. Hello, Morgan, Justin. Disney has an earnings report tonight. I know. Deb, we're looking for Facebook earnings to not do good. So one at a time, right? But actually, Disney's part of the communication ETF. That's the XLC that we bought the puts for. So we would like if they did poorly as well. Hey, Anthony, V, happy to be here with all of you. Abdul is amazing. So Abdul, I think, was one of the emails we sent out. I believe he had just joined in the last couple of months, and that's just to the credit of what we're doing, right? You talk about party. Yeah, no, thank you, Don. The policy directs affects your platform. The policy, yes. Wisdom is good. Yep. Yes and yes. Yes. Maybe turn off the phone. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Calm, take a deep breath. Sometimes I feel like I get frazzled because like I want to do something, and when people disturb me, it just gets me. Marketing is attracting target audience. You're impelling the correct. Yes. Anyone here? I gotta tell you, Angus I love, but Angus is like, no matter what, we'll walk into a room and like we can say hi, Angus, and Angus will be like, did someone talk to me? We love you. You're here. Like, relax. Nothing. No one was visible for ages. Good stuff. Every time I talk and happy to be part of it. So actually, to the point of Anthony, our Wall Street page has 2 call to actions because that was his advice that he had given to us. And we found it to be good and immediately did it. So to everyone, if you ever see something that you think could be better, please tell me. Change from funding the USA to funding Iran. I'm sure that was relevant when it happened. Hey, Nico made it to the party. And also Facebook algorithm, I guess, and Trudeau, how that feels. Trudeau is such a, if we were sitting at a bar, I would have a couple of words about that guy. How do members actually receive coin? Man, I always get so pumped. So Nico's great. Nico knows our company very intimately because when we were first launching distributive marketing, he was an intricate part of making us known, increasing our SEO rankings. So if anybody ever wants SEO help, Nico's the guy to go to. We're number 1 across the board. Yeah, we built and held that, but that's to no small feat of Nico got us out the gate. He got us on the first page of Google before we even knew that was possible. So the wizardry that he does, talk to him. Gunny from sunny Florida. I cannot think of a better name. Yeah, I love Rhino Street. Oh, totally cool. I'll take the warmth. Thank you. Rhino Street is going to be awesome. Yeah, it is. I didn't see my certificate, if any, on the email. Where? I swear, same will always do that. Let me see real quick. So, Angus, make sure you check your, what's it called? Your spam. But let me see the sheet right now. Angus. Where is it? Let's see. Where are you? Oh, I think I know where you are. Hold on. We still have you under Saint. St. George Publishing at yahoo.ca. That's where your certificate is. St. George, which I know your name is Angus, so I'm gonna just change it in our sheet. Okay. See, that's what I like, guys. Real time. We're doing real stuff. I have the stuff right here. It's not by accident. I have our sheets and I guard it with my life. All right, so we're gonna stop there. Guys, absolutely love you. Thank you for allowing me to host today. V kicks butt. I'm happy that you guys at least remember who I am. I'll see you next Wednesday with more updates. Things are going great. Get on live tomorrow with V. She is great. And I got to tell you, the more that you're on with her, it's just better. It helps everyone. Share your ideas. I understand that I'm like a wild, and maybe you don't have the opportunity to get the thoughts in while I'm talking because I'm in a role. But V's different. We've purposely selected her because she's the sweetest person and she lives on conversation. If you could go ahead and share your ideas with her live, she goes ahead and at the end of every call, sends out an email to me. Hey, Aunt, and they're paragraphs long. That's how much she loves you guys. So please, don't be shy. Write the ideas down, share with her. They come right back to me. All right. I got to go buy my grandmother French onion soup from Trader Joe's. I promised it to her. I promised my wife we'd go to Longhorn Steakhouse. So before my grandmother gets mad at me and before my wife gets mad at me, I love you. Let me go. And those that are in Rhino Wealth, let's keep our fingers crossed for Facebook to go down tonight. All right. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye.